Didn't see you there.
Welcome to Griff Notes.
Today we will be talking about Hamlet.
So the play starts off with the ghost wandering around the castle, and he looks like the dead King Hamlet. And Prince Hamlet comes back from his college, and he's so depressed because his mother is married to the uncle Claudius.
Claudius is crowned king, and Hamlet is very suspicious of this. And his suspicions are proven right when the ghost comes to him and tells him that he was poisoned by Claudius.
The ghost is unable to move on because nobody knows he was murdered, and he wants his son to get revenge for him by killing Claudius.
So Hamlet starts to be crazy and finds himself confused on whether the ghost is even real or not.
Claudius and Queen Gertrude see Hamlet being crazy, and Claudius really wants to know why he's acting like that.
So Claudius gets Hamlet's old friends Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to see why he's acting so crazy.
In the meantime, Hamlet falls in love with Ophelia.
But Ophelia's brother and father, Laertes and Polonius, advise her not to be a hoe.
Eventually, Hamlet wants to know if the ghost was telling the truth, so he sets up the play The Murder of Gonzaga.
He sets up the play to look exactly like what the ghost told him happened, to see Claudius's reaction to it.
And then everything starts to get crazy.
During the play, Hamlet sees someone behind a curtain and assumes it's Claudius, so he stabs the person.
But it was Polonius.
Then Claudius orders Hamlet to be sent to England to be killed.
Ophelia goes crazy after her father dies and is found dead in the river.
Laertes hears of these two deaths in his family and wants to return to Denmark so he can seek revenge.
And then they decide to have a sword fight.
Claudius hears of this sword fight and decides it's the perfect time to make sure Hamlet is dead.
Laertes also poisons the tip of the sword, but the queen ends up drinking the cup. The queen tells Hamlet that the cup was poisoned and she dies.
Laertes also poisons the tip of his sword. He cuts Hamlet with it, drops the sword, Hamlet picks up the sword, cuts Laertes with it, and then they stab Claudius and make sure he drinks the drink.
Hamlet tells Horatio to tell his story, and the Fortinbras becomes the king.
Many people have seen Hamlet as a play about indecisiveness and about Hamlet's failure to act appropriately, but it might be more interesting to consider that the play shows us the many uncertainties of our own lives and the unknown quantities that are taken for granted every day.
Shattered by his mother's decision to marry Claudius so soon after her husband died. Shattered by his mother's decision to marry Claudius so soon after her husband's death, Hamlet becomes cynical about women in general, showing a particular obsession with what he perceives to be a connection between female sexuality and...
Another theme in Hamlet is incest. The motive of incest runs throughout the play and is frequently alluded to by Hamlet and the ghost, most obviously in conversations about Gertrude and Claudius, the former brother-in-law and sister-in-law who are now married. A subtle motive of incestuous desire can be found in the relationship of Laertes and Ophelia as well.
In Hamlet, physical objects are rarely used to represent thematic ideas. One important exception is Yorick's skull, which he discovers in the graveyard. As Hamlet speaks to the skull and about the skull of the king's former jester, he fixates on death and the disintegration of the body.
Another symbol in Hamlet is the ghost, which represents imagination versus reality.
The garden represents temptation, like the Garden of Eden.
Hamlet's costume changes represent the difference between the outside and the inside.
The flowers represent each of the person's flaws.